Now, Wave News at 11.
I cannot stop crying, thinking about him and the little baby.
And you understand it, but you don't understand it until you go through it. And then when you go through it, you really do hope nobody has to go through something like this.
Everybody from every agency, from every level of government right now has both their mind and their heart fully invested in getting to this.
Each of the survivors, each of the families who are in grief, any member of our community who has been impacted by this horrific tragedy.
We will do everything we need to find out what happened.
In Kentucky, we grieve together and we support one another.
4 nights since the Louisville community has been feeling overwhelming grief. Families saying they could have never predicted what happened at 5:15 Tuesday afternoon, but they are now supporting each other through tragedy. Thank you for joining us for Wave News at 11. I'm Jose Sosaya. Recovery at the crash site continues, and tonight the number of people killed stands at 14. First responders and investigators are working in tandem to investigate where Flight 2976 left a trail of destruction. And also tonight, we're learning attorneys will be representing clients saying they have been harmed by the devastating event. Wave News reporter Julia Richardson telling us why they say the speed with which these first lawsuits are filed, Julia, could make the difference for those going to court.
That's right, Jose. One attorney representing clients through a major firm says in tragic events like this, filing lawsuits on clients' behalf quickly is advised because he argues evidence they may need could disappear. Morgan & Morgan appears to be the first firm filing a suit, and it expects the list of clients will grow. Now, Morgan & Morgan are representing Shakira Ware, and they filed her complaint Thursday night. We've learned Ware lives near the crash site and had to go to the emergency room from inhaling smoke and soot. So Ware is filing as an individual, but 2 businesses in the crash zone, Triple D Inc. and NZ LLC, are also part of the suit against 3 parties: UPS, Boeing, who owns the company that made the plane, and General Electric, who made the engine. The plaintiffs in part are arguing that both this plane and engine type had a history of issues in other cases. Tanner Schultz is the head of the firm's premises liability group, and he says a key part of cases like these is identifying all parties that could have played a role in the accident.
We know from some of the documentation that's already out that there were repairs that were performed on this plane a couple months before this happened. And it's getting to the root of the problem, because in a situation like this, the defending parties tend to want to point the finger at somebody else. And even though it might seem straightforward on the surface, once you scrape that off, they get to the point of, well, this is so-and-so's fault, and so-and-so else should have done something else.
Schultz adds that the fact that this UPS plane model was older will lead to questions of whether it should have been flying at all. Tonight, Wave News has also learned 2 other partner firms are representing several Kentucky families of those hurt or killed by the crash, including Grade A Recycling and its employees. Representatives from those firms weren't able to talk today about the complaint that they filed. As for Morgan & Morgan, Schultz says they're waiting for defendants to respond and also to help any more victims who call their office. I did reach out to Boeing, GE, and UPS to comment on the lawsuit. We're still waiting on a response from all of them. Julia Richardson, Wave News.
All right, Julia, thank you. It was earlier this evening when we learned 14 people have now died as a result of the crash. Mayor Craig Greenberg confirmed the news with a post on social media. But tonight, a group of people are still missing, and this includes employees from Grade A Auto Parts. Megan Washburn and John Locks are co-workers at the business on Grade Lane. Their families have yet to hear from them. NBC News is reporting that their families have submitted DNA samples to investigators to see if any of the bodies recovered prove to ultimately be a match. We're also starting to learn more about some of the victims killed when the crippled plane crashed to the ground. Wave News reporter Fernando Garcia Franceschini met 2 people who talked about their relationship with a loving grandfather.
It is heartbreaking to hear these people's stories. I spoke with a woman who grew up with Louis Nez Faye Dunn. We've learned that he was with his granddaughter, Kimberly, when the plane crashed near them, and their family says they are two of the people who were killed on the ground. We've also learned Louis Nez came here from Haiti and loved helping others. The woman we spoke with described him as a quiet and loving man. She says he was a good friend, brother, and father. She lives in Florida now and was eagerly waiting his call to wish her a happy birthday.
We're heartbroken right now. Especially his kids. He loved those kids so much. I don't know how to explain it, but it hurt. It's something we will never forget.
We also spoke with a neighbor of Louis Nez. He says he was the kind of neighbor who would put everyone's trash cans away. He actually had found out about Louis Nez and his granddaughter being two of the victims just before our interview.
He makes sure that he engaged with you. Eye contact the entire time, but smiled. I mean, he could have the worst day and just had the biggest smile.
Aaron says he oftentimes saw Louis Nez playing with his grandchildren outside, including Kimberly. He described her as one of the most well-behaved children he's ever met. The family is now making arrangements for the funerals, and of course, they say they are also keeping in mind and praying for everyone else who has been mostly impacted by this tragedy. Fernando Garcia, Francis Sheeny, Wave News.
We're also sharing our first glimpse talking to those who knew the three crew members who died in the crash. A reminder of their names: IRO Captain Dana Diamond, First Officer Lee Truitt, and Captain Richard Wartenberg. Friends of Diamond's, for example, back in Texas, say he dedicated his life to serving his community and making it a better place. Diamond trained pilots across the country. People like Jack Krecke say that Diamond, who he'd known for almost 10 years, was always making friends. Krecke tells our media partners in Texas Diamond also lived his passion, taking to the skies as often as he could.
Gut punch. It knocked the wind out of me, and I get a little emotional. Loss of a family member, loss of a brother. When I'd see Dana, say, "Hey, Cap, how you doing, man?" He'd say, "Jack, they still letting me fly airplanes, and they pay me." He just loved to fly.
We've also learned that Diamond served as a volunteer fire chief at one point in his working life. And for the last 20 years, Captain Richard Wartenberg called Northern Kentucky home. Our sister station in Cincinnati say he served in the Air Force Reserve and spent a lot of time at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. Neighbors who say they remember Wartenberg and his wife from those days near Ohio describe him as open and gregarious.
If something was going on in the neighborhood, he'd let me know, and he was just a neat neighbor. If you ever need anything, call me, you know.
Wartenberg's neighbors also say they will remember him for his kindness and his willingness to lend a hand. Tonight, the Louisville community continues to grieve the victims and thinking of ways to comfort their families. Wave News reporter Meredith Lee joins us with one local parish's message. Meredith.
Jose, Christ Culture Church hosted its vigil tonight and honored the lives of those who most recently died in the wake of the crash. At the time they started, each of the 13 victims were represented by a wooden cross. We've now learned since that 14 people have perished. But people who came were invited to leave messages of peace and support on each cross. Speakers recognized the weight of the tragedy and the grief shared by the community with each and every update. Their overall message was one of hope, healing together, and as they search for answers, also search for anyone still missing.
We all wanted to take this moment, as horrible and miserable as it is, that we all come together and be in unity and be able to just love on each other in this moment.
We need prayer, we need hope, and just love around everybody. This is just such a tragic thing that has happened, and yeah, like, I just want to be here to support any and everybody.
The crosses on display tonight will be gifted to the victims' families as a gesture of support. And for anyone who may still be looking for information about their missing loved one, they can call the number on your screen. That's 800-631-0604. This will connect you with the UPS assistance line. We've also listed numerous resources for businesses and people who were impacted. This is part of our ongoing coverage on wave3.com. Meredith Lee, Wave News.
All right, Meredith, thank you. Another warning tonight comes from Louisville MSD. They're asking families in southern parts of Jefferson County to stay away from open creeks and ponds. Specifically, MSD says they believe contaminated runoff from the plane crash is affecting Pond Creek as well as the northern ditch and southern ditch. Officials say you should avoid touching, swimming, or otherwise interacting with these bodies of water right now. The same goes for your pets. MSD reports that shortly after the crash, they began checking streams and then used spill booms to absorb the oil.
We've got, 100, at least 100 responders here, running parallel paths with still continuing the search and recovery along with the environmental cleanup that's going on right now, which is important because typically you have to wait till certain things are done before you can even begin the cleanup process. But we've been able to run, again, those in parallel paths and work on those at the same time. Everybody did a great.
MSD also says the incident did not impact homeowners drinking water from Louisville Water Company unless you've been directly contacted with other information. Also, if you see any oil, debris, or discoloration in a waterway, report it by calling. The number is 502-540-6000 or by emailing and reaching out to Louisville MSD. More ahead for you tonight. Kendrick and Dusty are going to join us with the first slate of high school playoff football action. Hope you join us for Touchdown Friday night.
Dense fog has overtaken parts of our area. You see the low visibilities here in Bardstown from our SkyTrack camera. How will that impact your Saturday? Details ahead in weather.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, funding education for over 1 million Kentucky students.
You can have it all during the All or Nothing sales event at Oxmoor Toyota.
Drive a new 2026 Tundra for just $419 per month, or 2.99 financing, or $1,000 in APR cash. Or drive a new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for just $259 per month, or 3.99 APR.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year no-cost maintenance plan and no-cost roadside assistance. Get it all at Oxmoor Toyota on Shelbyville Road and oxmoortoyota.com.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, Wave News.
Our folks, want to welcome you back in. Some fog developing tonight, restricting our visibility across Wave Country. Ryan Hogue joining us now. Ryan, we're looking at how this is going to impact the early part of our weekend.
Yeah, travel overnight tonight may be just a touch hazardous here, Jose. In some spots, just because this dense fog will restrict your visibility, keep your low beams on overnight tonight and into the early part of our Saturday. Outside now, it's 56 degrees. Winds are basically calm, and that's part of the reason why this fog is developing. Here in Louisville, it's not all that bad until you get into the eastern suburbs of Jefferson County, like Prospect, like Middletown, Eastwood, down toward J-Town. It's pretty thick there. But look at this, Fort Knox, quarter of a mile. Jeffersonville and E-Town, both reporting 0 miles. It's probably a little bit more than that, probably closer to Madison's quarter mile of visibility there. And the same story in Bardstown, where I just showed you that SkyTrack camera. And there are so many reports from citizens like you of the fog as well from MPing, which is an app you can download from for your phone from the University of Oklahoma and the National Weather Service. Look at all these reports dotting across the I-64 corridor and deep into Kentucky, like just south of Hardinsburg as well here. There is a dense fog advisory for most of our counties, except for our northern 2 tiers of counties in southern Indiana until 10 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures are running in the 50s now. We've gotten rid of all the rain and the clouds cleared out too, and that's why we have the fog tonight. That wet ground really exacerbating the problem here for visibilities. Down to our south, severe weather continues near Cleveland, Tennessee. That's going to be a little closer to the I-81 corridor. For us, things will be quiet and foggy as this cold front very slowly moves through. This front may try to sweep out a little bit of this fog, but I don't think it's going to be terribly successful in doing so for the overnight period here. So we'll keep that patchy fog. Temperatures will be in the 40s early tomorrow morning. Saturday looks good. Partly sunny, 67 for the high. A quiet day and a good start to the weekend despite that morning fog. 10-day earliest alert now popping onto your screen reveals that Saturday is really just the best day of the next like 4 or 5 days here. After we get through this fog in the morning that you see here on Fogcast, especially on the Kentucky side of the river, we'll be focused, of course, on the U of L football game, which looks great. Only a small chance of an isolated shower as we head toward the evening. Just after kickoff should be fine. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. This is what you want to know about, though. This Sunday, Monday, and early Tuesday alert day situation. We've got rain to snow showers Sunday night that will be just straight up snow showers through the daylight hours on our Monday. Thankfully, temperatures just above freezing. However, low visibilities could make travel a bit tricky. And then we'll have slick spots not only Monday morning, because temperatures will be in the 20s, but also Tuesday morning, because as these snow showers come to an end, temperatures will crash again. So how much snow are we going to get out of this? Not a whole lot here. Well less than an inch. But since this is our first snow of the fall season and nobody can drive when there's any amount of snow around here, we've hoisted the alert day flag here. There very well could be visibility issues and again some slick spots both Monday morning and Tuesday morning with this kind of extended event here. Thankfully, by the latter half of your Veterans Day, things will be fine and we will warm back into the 60s like it never even happened as we head toward mid-next week. Everything but the kitchen sink here, Jose. We were lucky not to have severe weather today. We missed it by an inch, but I don't think we're going to miss this snow. It looks like we'll at least see some of that snow shower activity.
Yeah, to be a mixed bag, a little bit of everything. We're talking fog, good forward to just that Saturday sweet spot, but then of course to start the work week, Ryan, it's like this is what Mother Nature has in store for us. Like, start driving carefully. Give yourselves that space driving out in the snow.
Yeah, and let's not forget the fog tonight too. So much going on.
Well, you know who at least is clear-eyed and full-hearted for us? Kendrick and Dusty with tonight's Touchdown Friday Night. Take it away, boys.
Tom Sundergeld Plumbing's Touchdown Friday Night. Sponsored by Tom Sundergeld Plumbing, Ivy Tech Community College, Sellersburg, Alex R. White Lawyers, PLLC, and Elite Smiles of Louisville.
Welcome to week 12 of Touchdown Friday Night. I'm surprised Dusty didn't contribute to the fog dots that Ryan was just talking about. We're finally in the playoffs here in Kentucky. I'm Kendrick Haskins.
That fog was nasty. I'm Dusty Baker. We're in the third week of playoffs in Indiana, if you could actually see it outside, and a huge game for Floyd Central.
Hopefully you can see well enough to shoot highlights. But first, we head over to Manual Stadium for our Elite Smiles game of the week. Manual has been blowing out everybody since a loss to St. X earlier in the season. On their opening drive, quarterback Caden Mack rolls out, throws a dime to Braylon Miles for the touchdown, 7-0 Crimson. On Fern Creek's opening drive, Javis Wallace Picked off by Hayden Wynn, and there's nothing between him but air and opportunity. He's going to take it all the way to the house. It's 14-0 Manual. Second quarter, the blowout continues. Jarian Trainer, he takes a handoff. He makes a guy miss, and he's going to find the end zone. It's 21-0 Manual. On Xbox, you have to turn the game off if you're playing somebody. Halloween was last week, but the fog was spooky tonight. So was the Manual offense. Mack with the jump pass to Noah Price, and he carries it in for 6. Manual wins 43-7 to advance to the second round, which has been a bad luck for the Crimson over the years.
Well, it's not just last year. It's been 17 years we haven't been out of the second round. So that's been an aiming point for us all season. We want to get past that second round hurdle.
It's crazy to imagine that Manual hasn't been past the second round. Fern Creek finishes the season at 4-7.
We will see if Manual can get through that second round. They will face a familiar foe in that pesky second round. We'll tell you later who that is later in the show.
When we come back, we head over to the sunny side or the foggy side for a huge playoff game for Floyd Central. It's touchdown Friday night. Rolls along.
Influencers aren't new.
In 1941, Jeep wrote the book on four-wheel drive.
Years later, the Jeep brand is still influencing. Some create trends, we create our own trail. Some send a smiling emoji, we smile for real. Jeep, there's only one.
Support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Welcome back to Touchdown Friday Night. Floyd Central has been among the more impressive teams in our area. They were 9-1 heading into the night section.
Normally, Logan would handle these highlights, but he decided to inform us yesterday that he's off today.
He might be off forever.
Well, it's nice. It's actually kind of quiet and peaceful in here.
It is nice and peaceful.
It wasn't as peaceful on the field. It was chippy early on. It also was foggy.
It looks
chippy,
cool on TV, Dusty.
All the adjectives that you could describe. Early on, it was a 10-minute, 32-second drive. Hunter McKinney scores this touchdown rush. 7-0 Huskies. Third quarter, things getting wild. 10-3 Husky lead. This punt is blocked, and it's recovered in the end zone by the Highlanders. Touchdown. Now it's 10-9 after a failed extra point. Fourth quarter, same score. Jackson Stone keeps it into the red zone.
I don't believe you.
I can't really see him.
Silhouette.
But believe it or not, he's going to be near the goal line. Doesn't find the end zone, though. So who does, Kendrick? Thor! In the end zone, Sebastian Robertson, the touchdown to put the Highlanders ahead. Their first lead of the game. Floyd Central outlast Evansville North. 15-10. The Highlanders will face Bloomington South in the 5A quarterfinals.
I think I see him.
Barely. You can see the long blocks.
Providence was also winners tonight. The Pioneers went on the road to North Davies and came away with a 42-26 win. They host Milan next Friday. Back over here in Kentucky, I didn't have as much fog where I was.
Mel was lucky.
Mel was looking to regroup after losing to arch rival Manual to close the season.
Now the Dogs were back at home hosting PRP.
Now the Dogs were big winners when these two met in the regular season. Wouldn't be much different tonight. On Mail's opening drive, Tyson Kinsel takes a handoff. This dude is fast.
He's shifty, too.
He got to the end zone in no time. 24-yard score. It's 7-0 Bulldogs. After a Panther fumble, Mail scores again. Quarterback Jordan Williams keeps it himself, scores, and daps up his dad over on the sideline.
Hey, that's awesome.
Mail wins 56-6. They get a rematch with Manual next Friday. They're hyped for another state championship run over at Christian Academy as they hosted Mercer County. 7-0 Centurions when the Titans get on the board, making it a game. Cornelius Matt hits Cohen Stanford. He takes a shot, bounces off everybody into the end zone. We're tied at 7. Back comes Kyle Jackson Burke. It's Jeffrey Bazana.
He's going bananas.
In the flat, he takes it into the end zone, but Mercer County blocks the PAT. It's 13-7. Second quarter, the onslaught begins. Tyree Stoner takes a pitch, hurdles a guy, jukes a guy, jukes another guy, breaks the tackle, and gets into the end zone.
Goodness gracious.
Christian Academy wins 54-7. Their 16th straight win. They host arch rival the Sales next week.
That might be a mention for play of the year right there. Ballard hosting Campbell County. Once again, I can't see anything.
You can see Pee-wee.
You can see Pee-wee. That's a big boy, and that's a big throw. Dalen Thompson for the score. He really wants you to see this, Kendrick. This is the touchdown celebration. Stay for the celebration. Absolute gold. 21-14. It really did. Ballard has the lead. Fourth quarter, Santee Brock trucks the man, and into the end zone he goes. 28-14. Bruins are moving on. They win 35-21. They'll face Ryle next week. Meanwhile, North Oldham hosting Grant County. Go to the action in the first quarter.
It's not as much fog in North Oldham.
No, not at all. And everybody wants to clearly see what has been a lethal offense. Connor Nesmith takes us into the end zone. Nobody's going to catch him.
Some jets.
7-0 in favor of North Oldham. Colin Daniels.
He's pretty good at football.
He's very good at football. Has broken the school record for touchdown passes. Let's just add another one.
Yeah.
To Andrew Davis, 26-yard TD. It's 14-0. Ronan Rendon was one of our players of the week for good reason. He's going to take this easily in the end zone for the score. It's a 21-point first quarter. North Oldham wins big, 49-0. They play Spencer County next.
When we come back, we'll meet our Ivy Tech Player of the Week, plus the number 9 Cats are in action tonight. Highlights when we return.
Influencers aren't new.
In 1941, Jeep wrote the book on four-wheel drive.
Years later, the Jeep brand is still influencing. Some create trends, we create our own trail. Some send a smiling emoji, we smile for real. Jeep, there's only one.
Fridays at 11 on Wave News.
Welcome back to Touchdown Friday Night. Our Ivy Tech Touchdown Friday Night player of the week goes to Marlon Harbin III. Very well deserving out of St. X. Hit a 66 yards receiving and a touchdown, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 for a touchdown. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown and a 42-6 victory over Madison Central. Once again, St. X keeping it classy with the celebration. Thanks to MST Awards for the trophy.
He's one of the nicer kids you'll meet. We had a little college basketball tonight as the 9th-ranked Cats hosted Valparaiso.
And this is UK's final tune-up before their big clash with U of L on Tuesday.
That looks like it's going to be a high-scoring affair. Pittsburgh transfer Jalen Lowe made his debut after injuring his shoulder in the blue-white game. First half, Lowe going to drive with the lob to Malachi Moreno for the slam. The former Kentucky Mr. Basketball finished with 18 points and 10 boards. Later, Lowe destroys his man off the dribble, goes in for the layup. He scored 6 points and dished out 5 assists. Second half, Otega Owe showing off that jumper. He knocks down the 3. He had 15. The Cats run away with this one, 107-59. 6 Cats scored in double figures.
I thought our guys came out with tremendous energy from the get-go, and I felt like they functioned pretty well, and we're making progress. We got a long way to go. We got to get way, way better, but it was a good night for us and proud of what we did.
Good to see Coach's daughter up on the podium with them. To the college gridiron, the 15th-ranked Cards are back at home on Saturday hosting California.
And, of course, U of L extremely in the tight race right now for a shot at the ACC championship game.
I've talked about the stakes getting higher and higher every week, so they're fully aware that the stakes are higher each and every week. And we talk about that because we want to stress the importance of however hard you worked last week, no matter whether things went great or not, you have to work even harder this week.
By Dusty. Last Saturday, UK broke their 10-game conference losing streak at Auburn last week.
At least they don't have to worry about the algorithm. The Cats looking to improve as they return home to take on a Florida Gators chomp on Saturday.
For us, it's about continuing to build on the good things we've done. I know we've fallen short at times, and there's been other times when we've played very good in spurts. I thought it was very good this past week to play good on offense, defense, and special teams.
Of course, number 2, IU on the road this week at Penn State. That game kicks off at noon.
And Racing making their playoff debut. They will be on the road taking on the Washington Spirit. We'll have all the highlights for you tomorrow night at 6 and 11, so keep it with us here on
See you next week on Touchdown Friday Night.